Film ReVision finale. It's awards time. And I'm here with my guests, Sunny Sarkar and Abigail Leaf, once again to hand out our picks for the best performances in films of the year. And we're going to start with Best Supporting Actor. So here, I'm going to show you the Oscar nominees that year in this particular category. An embarrassing selection, if you ask me. I don't know what John Lithgow is doing up there for 5 minutes of screen time. If I were a one-man nominating committee, I would remove 4 of those names from that list. Even though that final selection that you see on your screen would not be my choice for Best Supporting Actor, but he would make my top 5. Before we get to our picks, is there anything that our audience has to say about Best Supporting Actors? Do you guys just shout it out, tell me? Do you have picks, thoughts? Best Supporting Actor of 1983. Anybody?
Den O'Malley.
Den O'Malley in Trading Places, all right. Anything else? All right, so I think Abby's up first. Abby, you heard what the audience had to say. Let's have it. You're Best Supporting Actor of 1983.
I was even sitting here thinking maybe I'm going to change my answer because I just didn't love
Don't let those audience influence you.
No, I know, but I didn't love any of these, really. I was torn.
That's insane.
I know.
Because there's probably 9 great performances, only one of which was nominated for an Oscar, but that's a whole other issue.
Well, I went with Dennis Quaid in The Right Stuff.
I knew you were going to do that!
You know why? Because I just didn't feel strongly about any of them, so I just went with the performance that I personally enjoyed the best.
This is the one that you were telling me you're having trouble with.
Yeah, this was tough.
I knew you were going to do that, and I'm prepared for you. First of all, it's not even the best male performance in the movie, let alone...
But I just figured whatever.
Yeah, you just selected him as your Best Supporting Actor of the year.
It's okay. I mean, he doesn't really get a trophy or anything. No, I knew you would be mad, and I decided to pick it anyway. Maybe just to spite you.
That's very possible. It's an unfortunate, way of voting, but regardless, I know you found him attractive in The Right Stuff, and that's all well and good. But I mean, even if you look at that movie, I mean, you got Scott Glenn, Fred Ward, and Ed Harris all do significantly better jobs than he does. He's just this cocksure guy.
But I thought those other guys were slightly boring.
And he was hot.
No, because there's mucho más hot here. It's just, yeah.
Obviously I'm not going to convince you of anything, but I hereby protest that choice. Sonny, what do you got? Best Supporting Actor of 1983.
Sure. So I thought Sam Shepard obviously, did well.
Yeah.
He did real well, but I think he's playing a national hero. So he's playing like this, this flight hero.
Yeah.
He's this huge guy, Chuck Yeager. Everyone knows about Chuck Yeager, and so he did well with what he had, but he also had a huge role to play. So he didn't screw it up. But like supporting actors and supporting actresses, it's like mashed potatoes. When you have good mashed potatoes, but you don't want them to you don't want to add like crazy stuff in the mashed potatoes. And I thought good mashed potatoes was Rip Torn. I thought Rip Torn.
Rip Torn was you didn't see this graphic, but that was the performance I left on there. That definitely one of my top 5, probably number 3 Best Supporting Actor.
I thought Marsh Turner was he didn't have a lot of screen time, but I could watch that movie if it revolved around him. I wish it did. Because
Rip Torn it's a great performance.
It was great.
No doubt.
He was one of my final contenders.
Yeah.
He was.
How does Dennis Quaid beat Rip Torn? Rip Torn is doing great work. He's got detail to this otherwise guy that you figure is this backwoodsy guy. I mean, he's a little bellowing, but aside from that, I mean, there's nuance in what he's doing. I think it's a great performance.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you.
I know you're not.
A lot of these ones we're gonna have, I think, different criteria for how we, how we judged it. So.
Mine was a little dartboard on this category.
Right. Clearly.
What's yours?
All right, so my choice for Best Supporting Actor of the Year, I had a tough time between 2 actors, but I feel like I made the right choice. I feel very strongly about this choice. I went with Mandy Patinkin in Yentl as my Best Supporting Actor of the Year. This is a fierce...
He was wooden. Are you kidding?
Absolutely, are you kidding? He is passionate. This is a fierce, passionate performance. I mean, every scene that he's in, he imbues with urgency and energy. I mean, and he plays this, range of emotion from pain to joy to longing, which is all things that I've felt in the last 12 hours, incidentally. And and all the subtext that's going on. We talked about the homosexuality aspect of it, and all that's going on between these characters that don't know that she's actually a girl, and whatever, he's a girl. There's a lot of these subtext moments as he's sort of unbelievably, despite his Jewish heritage, falling in love with this boy, or could be feeling very close to what he thinks is a boy.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of weight in what he's doing, and he navigates it beautifully. I've actually got a scene to show you here to give you an example of what I mean.
I just came from
What happened?
The wedding's off.
Why?
He says I have the evil eye. He says a streak of melancholy runs in our blood.
What are you saying?
No man can let his daughter marry into a family like that. It's forbidden.
I think I have no idea what you're talking about.
They found out
What?
about my brother.
What about your brother?
He didn't die of pneumonia or consumption. I lied. He committed suicide. So no wedding. No sons. What's all this for?
Did you talk to Hadass?
What for?
She loves you, Albert, though. She'll still marry you.
Not if her parents say no.
Yes, she can. If she thinks her parents are wrong, she can. It's
Ansel, you think it's so easy. She's a woman.
What does
she
that
can't
have to-
think for herself.
That's nonsense.
Please, Ansel, this isn't a time for a philosophical argument. I've lost the one girl that I've ever loved, that I'll ever love. You want to sit here and argue?
Remember when I said I almost changed my answer as I was sitting here? See, this was the other one I was considering right there.
Lando? No. It was Mandy
Come on,
Patinkin.
don't
So
knock-
she's
don't knock
redeemed
Billy
herself.
D, okay?
She's redeemed herself in my eyes to some degree.
But then I was a little like, well, I don't know. Is he too over the top?
He's a theater actor, but I never felt any sort of stage conventions from him. He's got a lot of emotion, but it's reined in for the screen, I think. I didn't feel he was over the top at any point. I think, it's one of those performances that hits all the right notes. I think it was amazing that it didn't get nominated for an Oscar. But
I was surprised by that. Yeah.
It's some great work. I'm surprised you said wooden though. That surprised me. Like, because I mean that if over the top, like if you felt it was over the top, that's a taste thing. Wooden is the entire end of
I think the word I was looking for was like mechanical. That whole movie was over kind of over stylized or like over dramatic, over whatever you want to call it. So maybe that like skews my.
Well, I mean,
opinion
it is
on
a
this
musical.
I think that was my other concern, was I didn't enjoy the movie as much as others, and that's why I felt that I couldn't necessarily give him the nod on that.
All right, so that's it for our Best Supporting Actor choices. Once again, we have Dennis Quaid, Rip Torn, and Mandy Patinkin as the choices. Next time, we're going to move on and talk about Best Supporting Actress as we continue the Film Revision finale for 2008. We will see you shortly.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Dance to the song they're playing on the radio. While color lights up your face.